Hi all, welcome to another chess24 Banter Blitz. Let's have a look at the voucher code screen to start off with. There's a whopping 15% off if you use the voucher code Kingscrusher. So you can get to play even the world champion Magnus Carlsen and other top grandmasters. Or you can try and crush bunnies like myself. But we'll see. So let's see today. So let's go on to the playing area now and look at the challenges today. Mute this over here. Okay, so the challenges today, and I'm going to accept this first challenge. Alright, let's try an English opening. So it's a 5-minute game. Hope audio and visual is okay. I'll try Botvic system. Maybe with a difference here. H4, only H4. Alright, so I'll try and get these light squares, I think. Lockdown F5 from black. I mean, this is quite interesting. There was a recent Magnus Carlsen game. Checked out. Well, Magnus was on the black side. And but here, yeah, let's see if I can use the light square weaknesses and keep the bishop hemmed in on G7. I wonder if I can get a nice knight on E4 if knight F5 is played. Then I'm hoping that there's going to be a nice juicy knight on maybe D5 or E4. This is quite an interesting approach to the position. Okay, so B5 is possible though. So what's on the radar here for B5? AB, knight D5, BC, DC, maybe F6 later is going to be possible. I think the knight might be better on D5 than E4. Somehow it's hitting a lot more. Well, when I say a lot more, it's hitting quite good squares on D5. It's not really going to be challenged that quickly. In the meantime, well, bishop D7 to C6. Can I take out this D4 knight? So if that takes off that, and I have a bishop there, I take off this. Both bishops are being extended in scope. It might not be that big a deal, actually. What happens here? Alright, if I castle here. Alright, let's say bishop B7. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm just thinking now rook A7 would have maybe dissuaded bishop B7. I could have taken and then F6 and then sort of play knight F6 hitting the rook after. So I guess I've kind of... Casting's usually a good idea though. But yeah, maybe rook A7 is an interesting move around here. Or maybe actually you could take and then queen B6. It's not going to be that good. Okay, so there's B2 pressure as well. I think I might give this a shot. I'm just wondering, is he or she really gonna take on D5 here? Well, if not, then yeah, there might be a problem. And so here, taking and then F6 is interesting anyway. If bishop H8, it seems a bit crushed, that bishop. Isn't there maybe bishop e3, and then I've got queen f3. I think I'm going to do this. If I play bishop e3, I'm stopping knight d4. So bishop f6, knight f6, there's bishop c6. I'm just wondering if I stop knight d4, I can play queen f3. If I can play queen f3, this bishop's there on h8 for a while. Oh, maybe I can just take on b5 here. Yeah, this taking on b5 is a nice perk here. So I've got two bishops for a rook. Yeah, I think I was going to play on bishop h8, bishop e3. Okay, so I'm getting some nice perks here with this pass pawn. Maybe queen f3 is good here, just to make sure my king's okay. I can always return back to c6 for the b5 pawn. Can I do that? Or is he going to play d5? Or maybe that's... It might be better to leave the bishop there, so king g2 and queen f3, because I'm wondering if he played d5, there'd be rook b7 after. So let's avoid that hassle factor. I think that the king protects f3. I can recapture. So I'm leaving that bishop on c6, protecting b5. Yeah, I didn't want to lose that pawn particularly. Okay, can I have these pawns fixed if I play bishop e3 just to encourage d4? I guess e4, d takes, d takes. There is bishop takes e4 potentially. Probably needs a little bit of calculation. It seems safe enough. So in other words, if d4, then I get control of e4. That would be super nice, I think. Can I actually... Okay, there's rook f6 on the cards. Can I not play bishop takes c5 soon, even if there was rook f6? Bishop takes c5. Queen e6, queen g3, rook f4. Oh, maybe it's a bit complicated. It might be safer to play queen g3 because, yeah, say bishop takes c5, queen e6, looking at g4, if queen g3, rook f4. And if, I don't know if that gets messy, I think queen g3 would be preferable. Okay, so that is a concession on the light squares. Okay, can I just put pressure on e5 here? And fix this guy. Go back here. Well, that's looking juicy after queen f5. Well, there's queen g6 now. Queen h6. Okay. Let's see. Can I... Oh, hang on. Oh, why didn't I just take the rook? I'm panicking now. Why didn't I just take the rook? I wasn't expecting that move. Take the rook again. No. That was a bit panicky in my opponent's time pressure. Alright, I'm going to take it here. Alright, okay, interesting. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting tactic, rook b7. Yeah. Okay, thanks for that game. Okay, always blame the mouse. Let's play the English opening again. There was a quotation, wasn't there? Someone said he's never played a well opponent. There were people blaming not being well. And there's this famous quotation about it. I've never played a well opponent. I've never beaten a well opponent. Always blame the mouse. Just spied that. I was thinking about quotations. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure this is great for black, this position. I've stopped bishop g4, but the thing is here, I mean, maybe h6. Okay, maybe it's not a big deal. If there's bishop g5, h6, maybe it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's probably not a big deal. Okay, I just thought, it seems a little bit on the comfortable side. This position right now seems a little bit maybe overly more comfortable than it should be. You see what I mean? I think it's more comfortable than it should be. Okay, if I play this, getting out of this diagonal. So I have got an idea that maybe knight f4 to d5. So I'm holding d4 here. This releases the knight to go to d5. I'm just wondering if that's got... what happens after. Okay, knight f4 to d5. Yeah, it looks lucrative to get a knight to d5 for a moment anyway. I don't particularly want to play d5 at any point, because I mean that gives that square, that square, that e5 square. Okay, if I play this, okay, this means, well, maybe b takes is interesting, but rook takes does support c5 later. I think rook takes. Yeah, I think the problem is there's always a knight e7 anyway. Okay, it seems I can afford f3 and bishop g1 here. If that's interesting though, I don't know. It might not be. Maybe just knight d5. Just go with the flow here. Just let the bishops come off, and is that such a terrible thing? I mean, maybe it is. It's possible I should have played f3 and bishop g1. But on the other hand, okay, I still think it's sort of comfortable, but there's knight e7. I'm just wondering, queen f3 now represents a pawn loss. Okay, so knight f4. I don't want to keep that tension going. So what have I got here? Am I going to blunt this bishop? I think it could just come back to this diagonal later. So maybe I haven't got that much at the moment. Let's just hold this structure together. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll take this. It sort of defines an F file now, which I think could be quite interesting. Now, if I want to blunt this bishop, well, there's d5 later. If I just prepare to double the rooks on f7. Okay, let's protect this pawn. Is it possible b4 and c5 is always going to play for this bishop on that diagonal? Okay, so queen e2, this bishop takes d4 though. Well, that'd be nasty. Queen d1 might be the way to do it. That gives me queen f3, so I'm starting to try and target f7 without running into bishop takes d4. So I'll play queen f3 here. Depends if this bishop's going to be great or not. Right, can I just be aggressive here? Maybe with g4. Oh, hang on, isn't there queen takes h4? Why don't I just blunder that pawn? Okay. Oh, there's going to be a knight f6 the way he's playing it. There's knight f6 being threatened. That leaves a gaping f6 hole. It's still not really the end of the world, though, on king h8, is it? Or is it? Maybe hg, it is dangerous for this rook coming to the h file. That might be quite dangerous for black, this position, even though it's simplified. I'm going to open up this file. When is this? Okay, I'll get ready for this h file. So knight f6. Okay, I'll try and blunt that. Bishop. Try and use this. Knight f6 and rook h7 stuff. Yeah, so, okay, knight f6 wins the exchange anyway. Rook h7, king g6 doesn't do anything. I think I'll just win the exchange. Yeah. And now rook f5 seems flexible for the rook still on f6. I can just double on f6. On f6, just double for a moment. Maybe there's d5 on rook f8. So trying to just get to d7. I think rook d7 looks good. I've got a 3-2 pawn majority here. I'm controlling the d file. Rook h8, rook h1. So rook h8, rook h1. Okay, I think just the option to knock out the bishop should be sufficient on rook h8. Just knock out the bishop. The structure is pretty good. Okay. Protecting c5. Let's protect that or not. Not bother. Yeah, I think I will, because if the rook moves, rook takes b7. So these pawns look. Hang on. These pawns, they look dangerous, but there's always rook e7 after. Bishop d2, e3, rook e7. I'm hoping I'm not getting mated or anything. There's a Tarash rule. There's c7 threatens the queen. That's held anyway. I think c7. Let's hit this guy. I can queen. I'll just take this. Just okay. Thanks for the game. Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't think. Yeah, my plan maybe didn't. Oh, a 3-minute game here against a 2700. Whoa. So King's Engine attack. Pretty good on bullet as well. Just want to make sure the bullet potential, what it's like if I get into a total time scramble. Just curious. It's a basic indicator of bullet when you're playing a 3-minute game is maybe interesting. So this is a reverse King's Engine at the moment. I assume, yeah, that's not going to be taken. So I just want to get this kind of reverse King's Engine style position out of it. So knight h4 later. Okay, maybe not. Knight h2. He's a bit on the slow side, isn't he? A whole minute's gone now on his clock. Alright, maybe it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the clock though more than usual in a 3-minute game. Can I prepare f4? I'll take towards the center, I think. Okay, I'll try and suppress a light square lock to get a knight on f5 later, like in an earlier game. Oh, okay, that's not happening now. Okay. Can I play for f3 to try and get this f file going? I'm hoping this isn't too dangerous for my king. Maybe it's a little bit. Okay, king f2. Rook g1 and bishop g4 coming up. So he's doing the corresponding. Maybe not. Okay, let's try and get this maybe form pawn over here. Okay, I'll take that. Try and get the light square bishop off. Mind you, my king's a little bit shaky, isn't it? Oh. I'm a bit scared now. Why is my king a bit shaky? Feeling a bit shaky. I'm a bit scared now. Okay. G4, is G4 even possible for bishop f5? Right, bishop f5 trying to win an exchange. Is that too cheeky? And there's bishop takes h6, but then there's rook f2. Maybe I should just try and... Should I? There's rook f2 happening. Unless there's anything genius about anything else, I'll go for this exchange. I don't trust it because there's a lot of pieces around my king. I really don't trust this. Maybe bishop takes h6 is technically possible because g6, I don't know. I'm hoping it's technically possible. For rook f1. Does get the bishop out of the way for rook f1. If there's no immediate check to win bishop, then it's a handy sort of move because I really want to play rook f1. So I'm taking a risk on this. Okay, if I put the bishop back to d2, knight takes. Oh no, there's no rook f1. Oh, there's knight g4. Oh, there's no knight g4. Is there queen e4 here? Oh, there's queen f2. It's really quite dangerous. Okay, I'm a bit worried now. I don't know. Okay, let's not run out of time. No, I don't know. I don't know. Oh. Oh, I'm down on the clock. Pre-move time. Oh, I don't know, it was a lottery. I thought I was going to lose on time there because he'd caught up on the clock totally. And I had a total miss. My king safety was shot to pieces there. Yeah, well played. My king safety was really low, really getting on the low side. If I'm saying bishop c1, that's not good. Bishop c1. I didn't know what to do there. I played bishop d2, and he's got knight c2. There was method in the madness, but I don't know. I think I was stuck. I was really stuck. Yeah, I think that must have been waiting for black. If we look at that, I bet you black's got loads of shots there, tactical shots. I seem a bit in trouble here. Okay, it's knight e5. Okay, it's knight e5 possible here. I don't know. Queen d1, rook d1. That should be okay, right? Knight e5. Is my opponent blitzing me here? Am I being blitzed here? It seems to be a fast-paced game. I have got a 3-2 over here. Knight d4 looks interesting actually now for knight c6. That weakness of the last move has invited me for this, I think, in a way. Right, there's knight takes e7 on rook takes d1. That's check. So rook e8 might be necessary. So I can double the pawns. It might be better to just take a rook on the 7th, or knight takes a7, a pawn. A rook on the 7th here, or taking a pawn. I think I'm going to take this pawn. Because rook a8, there's knight c6 back on the bishop. So I think something went wrong there. I shouldn't have this position from earlier. I think something went wrong. Okay, I could still do this with knight c6 because there's rook d5 and knight e7. So rook a8, knight c6, threatening rook d5 and knight takes e7. So that's the threat. Rook takes d5 and knight takes e7. Well, I kind of believed it was the threat anyway. I get d5 after. Okay, I lose b2. It's 2 pieces for a rook. Unless I can improve them, I think I like taking that pawn and getting the knight to d5. I think here, okay, get a pawn here for bishop e5 for that f6 square. This actually is for my back row though, so he can't do that, right, because of his back row. He can't take that yet. So I think c4, there's rook c2. There is rook c2. Now, do I get any fun in games here with rook e7 or not? Or do I play knight e3? I think knight e3 for a moment. Hold c4. What do I want to do with the 2 pieces? think I'll play for the rook on the 7th. The bishop can safeguard h2. Does my pawn need to be on h5? Because maybe my king wants to go to g4. If I play h5, I guarantee king g4. I think I'll do that. Guarantee king g4 as a possibility, rather than allowing h5 locking my king in. I feel that's more significant with these rooks. What they're going to do to my king on the back row. I need an escape route. So king h3 to g4 is an escape route. Rook b5 is looking interesting. If my opponent's not threatening checkmate, then rook b5 is interesting. Okay, that weakens his king a bit. There is h5 again now. Okay, I can always move the bishop for king g3 though, so I'm going to try this. Okay, the rook, and this can't go there anyway. It's going to take a while to get both rooks to play rook h1. Okay, I'll have bishop move for king g3 anyway. Okay, I'll take it here. So I want to. That's a good point. All right, yeah, that's a good point. The knight holds g2 at the moment. Am I getting into big trouble? Okay, I think there's knight g4 on rook a3. There's knight g4. Right now, there's knight g4. Okay. Can I use this pawn? Oh, there's knight c4 anyway. So if he plays rook a3, there's knight c4, I hope. But anyway, the bishop's holding e5. So I just want to use this pawn. Can I just take the rooks off now? And c6, c7 looks dangerous. Because then there's knight b6 for c8. Alright, a check just to hold the knight. Oh, there is h4 on the cards. Can I play to stop h4 with this? So h4, king takes h4. Mind you, there's bishop h2 as well if I don't want to lose g2. Bishop h2. Then a check, king takes, I don't lose g2. So I think that's too much if I play king h4 here. Can't really take that. That's winning those pawns, surely. So I mean, yeah. Okay, if I take, then I get in big trouble. All right, let's go back then. Or bishop h2. Maybe bishop h2 for a moment. As long as my king can go to g6, even if he won that in the king and pawn ending, that's a winning pawn there. But there's also knight f3 here, much simpler. There's knight f3 actually for c7, just to progress this pawn. Okay, there's a check. King takes h5. Okay, we'll centralize for a moment. That gives king g3 as well. Yeah, I think it's difficult there, but yeah, thanks to the game, that was a real difficult game. Cobra. Okay. This is strange, slightly, isn't it? Because I'm encouraged to get a gigantic center, which I will accept the invitation for. If the invitation is still on, maybe e5, but then we've got a sort of strange. Okay, the invitation's there for this big center. If castles, I'm looking for a Greek gift already, I think, after e5. I'm looking for a Greek gift stack. Okay, I am looking for a Greek gift stack. Now, it's official. So bishop d3, h4, and bishop h7. If knight d4, knight d4, queen d4, bishop h7, queen d4. But I'm looking for bishop h7 now. So h4 and bishop h7. Okay, d5 now looks interesting. Knight b4, bishop b1, ed, cd, and e6, there's d6. I think d5 looks tempting. I don't know if I'm being provoked, maybe, but it looks so tempting. So yeah, okay. Knight before bishop b1. So ed, cd, bishop c5, a3, knight a6. All right, didn't even notice that one. Okay, I can carry on squishing over here though. a3 and b4. That knight's locked out of the game. h4 and knight g5 looks tempting in any case. There's even the fishing pole. If that ever took, that's too dangerous for the king, surely. There's too much communication shortcut here for king safety. It's too much. This knight, this rook, this bishop. So h4 and knight g5, I think in this circumstances is okay. Even if hg, this h file looks too dangerous. So setting up the fishing pole. Oh, there's bishop a2 if needed. Apparently knight takes e6 as well, but there's also bishop a2 I've just noticed. But knight takes e6 is the immediate threat. So this h file, is it not at all dangerous after g6? Okay, that's interesting. If I play bishop a2 for a moment, because I don't think this bishop's doing anything there, unless g4? No, I think I'm going to reinforce d5 and e5. Let's just reinforce d5 and e5 for a moment. So bishop f4, reinforce the center, queen d2 castles queenside, then triple on the h file with rook h3, rook h1, queen h2. I think I want to triple on the h file. Is that knight takes b4 or something? Alright, there is a knight h5. Let's put the king a bit tucked away. I don't think knight b4 is on the cards at the moment. If this diagonal opens up, there's a rook h7 for rook h1. This diagonal will be a killer diagonal. Any knight h5 here. There's also a very tempting d6. I think d6 is too tempting. He takes my rook, takes... I'm on rook, okay. There's a lot of tempting stuff here. I'll start this self-imprisoning rook, so I allow knight h5. I'm thinking, just to get out of the target of the bishop, I'm thinking d6 would sometimes give me this diagonal if I get the e5 square. If I get the e5 square, I get that diagonal, get a pin on the knight. There'll be no knight h5. Okay, I can get a sort of pin on the knight. Like, is there c5 there though? If this queen pins the knight. c5 in its own right also looks juicy. Queen g2 to h3. Let me see, that's a protected pass pawn. If he plays c5, d6 becomes a protected pass pawn. Okay, I'll lose b4, bit of a technicality. Or I could just take on c5 here, so I've got my protected pass pawn. Letting that knight come in the game though. Maybe that's a bit dumb. I'll let that knight come in the game, but it is a protected pass pawn now on d6. Okay, a bit of a downside there. I can still treble on, well, double on the h file. So there's rook g6 here, if nothing else. That leaves this pawn to be moving forward soon. So rook h6 and g6. I think that, okay, cb opens up. Well, what's wrong with queen takes c5 anyway? Yeah, I think I don't want to be too complacent about this. There is rook b7 on the cards. It's too tempting. If I play king a2, is that really bad? Okay, king c2. Okay, I should really do something. I'll try this. Okay, it's a self pin. Queen c4, I'm threatening queen g8 sometimes anyway. There's no bishop d5. There's a bishop d1, knight d1. Okay. Let's put the pressure on this self pin then. Rook b7, queen c4. But there's a g8 coordination square here. g8. If the rook moves, rook g8. Common square, rook g8, queen g8 is also possible. Alright, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Cobra. That was an interesting game. Okay. Torquemito. Torquemedita. Red to the ball, reddish pink to the balls. Bullfighter. This looks like I'm playing for a naughty bishop h3 here. This is usually quite dangerous for white, because my rook's still on h8 as well, so there's h5 and knight g4. d4 is not the move I necessarily expected. I'll take out this centre pawn as well. My king's in the centre still though. Okay, so he's not taking stuff. I go here. Might be a time to castle now. Should I protect that? I guess there was bishop f5 as well. I'll play bishop f5 here, and okay, there's d5. Now maybe e4 is interesting. Try and lock down g4 with bishop g4, I wonder. Queen f5. Okay. Let's get this bishop potentially on this diagonal. f4 looks like a target here. If I play two double rooks and bishop c7, it looks like something to do. Okay, so white's a bit passive. If I play h4 here. Oh, there's always g5 anyway. This is a nasty pen. g5 coming up. Yeah, g5. Just realised now. g5 is possible. It looks as though I've got... Oh, bang. Queen goes. Okay, thanks for the game, Talk. Okay. One man troika. Okay. So knight f3 going into a king's engine. Can I grab this bishop? Or at least I can hold the light squares with this sort of overprotecting pawn. Queen e7 at the moment. Queen e7. No, I think white's better really because of this c5 business essentially. Okay, so queen here. The way he's played it though, that was stopping h5, the queen on d1. I might have h5 here. It looks a little bit dangerous. If h3, h4 and then g4 and things happen on the g file. But do I get time for that? I'm not getting much time for that. No, it's taken away. Okay. My c7 is going to be under fire. Oh, it looks uncomfortable again. Yeah. c7 is going to be under fire. Or I drop a7 soon. Let's play for h5 anyway. Maybe there's f5, f4. Maybe that's better. Try and get some counterplay over here. f5, f4. This is a sitting duck. I have to do something. f5, f4. That looks plausible. So rook c2, f5, rook c1, f4, rook c7, queen f6, ef, gf. The bishop's trapped. Can you do better with queen c2? That's rook c8. I think you'd want to double the rooks. Okay. Is the queen in Siberia here? Can I just get an attack with the queen in Siberia? The doubling of the rooks. Okay. At least this gives me a target on e3 now. There's f4 for bishop d4 here. Potentially if the queen wasn't on d4. Is there b5 for bishop d4? Queen b4, a5. I could try that. Yeah. Try and get the queen away from d4. Okay, queen's away from d4. The cats will play. The mice will play. There's bishop c3, and then g takes bishop f2. Or there's, I don't know, bishop b6. What does that do? Queen b5, not much. I think I take the exchange here. Take here. Can I perch my knight anywhere on? Maybe e5 looks juicy. Knight e4 might actually be threatening knight f6. So knight e5 anyway. It's better than on d8. Okay, so support this guy. There's knight f3 worth looking at. Rook e7, threatening sort of back row stuff. Knight f3, no, not quite. Maybe queen g5, or what about queen h4 hitting the rook, and then knight takes f3 later. Queen h4 hits the rook and the bishop, as it turns out here. So bishop e6, rook e6. If rook e5, is that queen e1 check? There might be. Okay, thanks for the game, one man. Alright, yeah, that was interesting tactically. Okay. Michael Polika, is he around? Is Michael around? One? Okay, he is around. Okay, this f5, f4. Well, that looks good soon. He's trying to take the fun away, isn't he, from my plan. My evil plan has been thwarted. Okay, plan B, we'll see. It has to be used. Let's keep this bishop hemmed in now. Try and keep the bishop hemmed in. And get rid of the light square bishop, maybe. Let's see, rook b8 seems... Oh, maybe there was something there with rook a7, bishop a7 actually, because the queen was holding the bishop. Maybe that was possible. Okay, I'm trying to give my opponent bad bishop. If I did just play this and queen b6, would that be so bad? I think the dark squares are a bit vulnerable. That's an active A file. I think this is okay. Rook a4 hits f4. f5 gives me some dark square control, extra dark square control, if this pawn moves forward. G takes, there's rook h4 as well. There's the a2 pawn hanging here, but there's rook e7. But then b2, why can't I just take on a2 and b2? Because that means c3 is also weak after. Okay, there's bishop c3 here for rook d2. I don't want to lose b6, so I'll prepare bishop c3 on this. It's worth playing bishop c3 immediately. No, I think I want to keep b6. Okay, knight lives another day. Bishop c3 is the threat now, with more effect. Okay, can I play g5 just to loosen these dark squares a bit, as mentioned before? Okay, so these dark squares, d4. Okay, so d4, yeah, this looks as though my dark square bishop is nice, enjoying itself in this structure. So DC BC hits my rook. I think there's rook b2 on f6, isn't there? f6, I think there's rook b2. And there's a threat of bishop d4 one day if I just move this rook. Let's just take the threat of bishop d4 and go into the center on rook e2, rook e8. Right, there's bishop d4, that was the threat there. Okay, I can torture the pin for a bit. Well, I might as well just double rooks for a moment. Yep, now I'll play this. Maybe d2 is knight e4, king g7, f6, king f7. Alright, can I actually? Oh, wait, this way I'm playing it. Knight e4, rook e6. Okay, this pawn's too weak now. Surely the knight's not holding that pawn. Okay, not knight f6, but maybe this way, where knight f6 is not permitted. Rook d2 for... get my king hit, or b6. Okay. Oh, there's knight f6. Alright, let's try not blunder the rook. Let's put the rook away from the king. Try not to blunder the rook. I just want rook b1. So knight d2 coming up. If there's knight d2, there's rook b2, I mean. Okay, well, there's two connected passed pawns. I can keep the king cut off here on, yeah, with the rook on 6th. Well, the pawns protect each other now, so. Thanks for the game, Michael. Okay, interesting. A 3-minute game. Gel. Bullet is pretty impressive as well. Play e3 here. I'll stop this bishop g4 business. Okay, I think d4 is possible for knight f4. I've seen this mechanism in reverse in a Sicilian defense game. There was a game of Matthew Sadler featured in the chess magazine. He played a similar thing with black, and you get good square control. Basically, it liberates the bishop for a start. I go back. Is there g5 there? Okay, just in case there's g5 there, I'm going to play this. Knight f4, so g5, knight d5. There's knight d5 anyway. G5 wasn't a threat. Okay, so knight f4 to d5. It looks like a good control over the d5 square. So knight f4. There's no way g5 is a move. So I've got a nice hook on d5. English opening dream hook on d5. So a3, b4, bishop b2, knight d5. Try and strike at the diagonal in general. a3, b4, bishop b2, knight d5 would be the plan here. I'll take here. Bishop b2. Okay, so knight d5. Now, if knight c4, there's bishop f6. If knight d5, knight d5, knight c4, that's interesting. Can I do better there than knight d5? I think knight d5 is seems too good not to play. Okay, it's a little bit of an issue. Knight c4 is that? What about bishop d4? If I play bishop d4, it's queen f6 almost. Gf, knight f6. There's queen f6 if I need it. It's not possible here. Okay, knight f4. Now there's knight h5 here and f6, queen f6 there. No, but hang on, his bishop's protecting the queen. Alright, g4 to start off with. Now the bishop's not protecting the queen, so this mechanism is in reality on the board all of a sudden with queen f6. Isn't that? No, there's queen c7, there's queen f4. So queen f6, rook f8. What if I played f3 first? Does that improve anything? It just weakens e3. Queen f6 here, rook f8. Queen g5. I'll go with that. I don't want to weaken e3 with f3. Rook f8, queen g5. It's a worthy pawn to take out, surely. Okay, knight f4 just to shield this f3 square. h6, queen g6, just to make sure g5 isn't happening. Okay, so knight e4 is also dangerous, is it? Can I get the queens off? Oh, I have to take with that. Okay. Now I'll kick this guy. I don't want to lose f2 in a hurry. Take it here on h5, f4. Yeah, thanks for the game, Joe. Yeah, that was wondering about queen f6. I have to factor in queen c7. That was interesting. Okay, Ralph crossed. Okay. This is a very lazy opening, I have to say. I think I've taken after Norwood as my idol. David Norwood played very, very lazy openings. Like knight f3, he was crushing all the IMs though. He became a grandmaster and was crushing everyone. Just strong middle game, endgame. But as I've emphasised recently, if you want to be efficient, you want to be lazy, because the most efficient way to do something is not to do it. It's this thing in computer science called lazy evaluation. So you don't have to learn tons of opening theory necessarily. I think that would be the lazy approach. You just try and optimize your middle game and end game, so you don't need to learn tons of opening theory. There's this lazy philosophy you can apply to a lot of things, which actually increase efficiency. Okay, so knight takes d4. I'm threatening knight, almost knight f3. If c3, I'm actually threatening the bishop, actually. Okay, so bishop f5. Shield the king. Okay, so knight here. Right, let's just get the king out of this dangerous predicament. Because things, okay, conspiring against my poor king there. Okay. Is knight c5 a real pain? Do I care about knight c5? Maybe. Let's take away that square. Queen g6 would be a bit of luxury, I think. So knight d5, do I have knight b4 coming up? It depends if there was a rook on d8, I think knight b4 then to win the bishop. on d3. Knight b4 could be a clearing imminent danger, potentially. Knight b4 here is good anyway for undermining d4 if nothing else. So I think I'll use this. So CB, knight takes d4. Okay, this undermines e4 anyway. But do I play knight d4 first and then knight d3? It gives him a chance to do something about e4. If I played knight takes d3, am I not undermining e4? Knight c6, there's queen c6. Rook d3, there's bishop e4. Isn't there bishop e4 here? Can I not just take this? Blockade on d5 quite cozily. Surely, bishop d5. Okay, a5 then. Okay, alright. I'll protect the pawns. I'm showing I care about pawns. Okay, I still care about pawns. Now bishop d5. Unless there's any killer tactic there, I don't think so. g4 coming up looks dangerous here. Okay, so this looks dangerous. I'm going in for the mate soon. I think if I just cut the king off, I'll be threatening queen g2 mate. Just cut the king off from the escape route of e2. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, thanks for the game, Ralph. Okay. This isn't his first game, is it? I'm afraid I'm a bit wary about what happened a while back when someone is using their very first game on the site to play me. I'd rather decline that. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. I would expect. Sorry, it's just me. Something happened a couple of weeks ago, and there were a lot of complaints actually on YouTube, not against me, but against my opponent. I don't really want that. So please do play a few games before playing a streamer in general. Well, if it's me, like not Magnus Carlsen, obviously, you might have just joined the site for Magnus Carlsen, but if it's me, I'd really prefer if you play a few games. Okay. Because also the rating system, as far as I can tell, isn't weighted. The provisional rating is not saying 1/50 or 1/30 times rating change, it seems. So I just don't think that's justifiable for me to play like that without any provisional rating emphasis. Okay, I mean, I don't know if any of you have thought of that. When you play a provisional player, you seem to get the same effects as a non-provisional. I don't know if that's worth mentioning somewhere. I was meaning to mention it somewhere. Okay, so a dangerous opponent here, the mechanic. Bishop takes. So queen g4, knight f4. This looks dangerous. Queen g4 for knight f4. Right, knight f4 just wins the knight, doesn't it? Or is it going to be a damaged pawn structure, isn't it? I'm taking out the rook here. And maybe this pawn. Knight d4 check looks good. Right, thanks for the game mechanic. Okay. Klein Meister. So this is a pretty standard opening so far. Okay, so b5 could be useful. Maybe b5 here to be used. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm not that comfortable now. Bishop b3 has to be factored in, surely. So queen d2, rook fc1. Okay, knight c4, I think I can say. f5, f4 is not so severe right now, is it? So I'm playing knight takes. Try and get a rook to the c file. Maybe the other one. Bishop c5 using this semi-open file square. Bishop c5 looks logical. And this is that e4 or something? Oh, there's knight b3 on the cards. Can I play queen c3 here? Knight b3, rook d1. I think queen c3. An exchange sack, I don't think that's justified. Queen c3 looks good. It hits c7. Superficially it looks good. It hits c7, it's e5 under fire. So knight b3. Let's say black goes all in with knight b3. Rook c2. I'm still hitting e5 and c7 there. Is there something tactically clever going on there after knight b3, rook c2? I wonder. e4. Maybe e4, de, bishop takes e4. Sort of attempts to win an exchange in broad daylight. On e4, I might have another option. Although I'm not entirely sure. Maybe knight d4. Okay, is e4 on the way? There's also bishop f6 after that. So if rook c2, e4, knight d4, there's bishop f6, which looks nasty. Okay, so maybe I should just sack the exchange and be done with a lot of the issues here. I'm going to sack the exchange, be done with this stuff. Bishop f6, f4, for example. I got some compensation for the exchange. If I'm going to lose the exchange anyway to e4, might as well lose it for a pawn, if possible. Is there queen d5 check though? Can I play bishop f4 for d4? I just want to. There's g5 coming up. Bishop d4. There's queen d5. There's e4 there. c5, queen c5. Bishop d4. If bishop f4, there's g5 potentially. And then after bishop moves back, queen d5. So I think bishop d4 might be a better bet. There's no c5, queen d5, there's e4. Rook e8, there's f4. So I'll go with bishop d4, trying to hold things together. Bishop d4. So I really want e4 and f4 to try and just be the exchange down for a pawn, the center pawn. e4 and f4. Say rook e8, f4, queen d5, e4. Say c5, queen c5, rook c8. I think I'll just take that. I don't mind being exchanged down necessarily there. This pawn might be weakened in endgame. So I thought queen takes c5 was possible here. Okay, I'm wondering if takes queen d5 is a disaster because e4 queen takes. It has to be queen takes. Rook c8. I have to do this surely. So there's queen takes here. Oh, there's queen d5. There's e4 there. And if rook takes, that's check. Okay. This is not so unpleasant, surely, if I play the cards right. f4 to start off with. Get the king to protect. Bishop c3, there's bishop a3. Don't think there's anything else to say about that one. Knight c4, there's b5. However, knight c4... Knight d7 to b6. Maybe that's... Bishop c5 coming up. Okay, that stops... Bishop c5 for a moment. What do I actually need to do here? I need to avoid bishop a3. I don't want to give him past a pawn in a hurry. Let's protect with the king. Alright, he's going to get a passed pawn, I guess. Try and get past pawn. Can I try and resolve that stuff? Bishop d2, king e4. f5. Uh-oh. Okay. I have to... Oh, no. I'll try and get this pawn over here. Okay, yeah, that's gone. Well played. Okay, I think there's time for one more. Hawk Slayers. Okay, there's time for one more, I think. Okay, knight takes d5 here. If I take here, the knight, so hitting that bishop. I think there's something precarious here going on. Knight f4, knight d3. It looks a bit on the odd side that this has been allowed. If I take on f4. Okay, bishop h3 looks dangerous here. Knight g2 for queen e3, that looks extremely dangerous. Knight g2, actually peculiar move. Does support queen e3. If knight f1, maybe queen c6 for queen b6. I'll go with this for a moment. So knight f1, queen c6 to go to b6. Why do I play so bad? I don't know. It's only 3 minutes to go, unless someone wants to challenge me with thanks. Bullet game. Could go on about the discount codes screen over the last minute or two. So yeah, you must have noticed Magnus Carlsen being a streamer here. So I think it's really good that you can challenge the world champion, especially, as well as all the other bunnies like me. But there's a lot of other strong players, grandmasters. But you know, for the challenge of Magnus Carlsen, I think it's worth it. So you know, the voucher code Kingscrusher, 15% off. Check that out. And when I try and get my voice back. Yeah, I'm trying to give this checklist to one of my students. I'm thinking it's quite useful. I think I've got 4. It's a working checklist for the middle game, just for the middle game. I don't know if any of you want to make note of this checklist. Because my brother's into checklists at the moment. I thought, okay, there might be quite a few for chess. So on my checklist at the moment, I would say, you know, look for the downsides of the opponent's position. You know, for example, loose pieces is a big one. You know, king safety issues, awkward looking pieces. If you look for those, that really helps calculation. That's number 1. Number 2, look for weaknesses of the last move, especially in blitz. So there's a lot of weaknesses of the last move, which often win games, or even in your longer games. Sometimes people get so immersed in their plans, they make a move which actually has got a weakness just in that move. Number 3, check all checks. And that's symbolic of checking all the forcing moves as high priority, because it's much easier to calculate bare chunk trees there's less candidate moves every time. The very forcing moves. So check all checks is iconic part of the checklist actually, and they could be the threats of mate in one or captures, but things which are more forcing in nature are easier to calculate. And the fourth one, like, see what the opponent is threatening. It's not necessarily to have to defend. You can sometimes make a bigger threat. You can sometimes zap the piece which is creating the threats. So that's my checklist of 4 that I've shared with a student at the moment. It's my working checklist at the moment. So I'm into that at the moment as well. Okay. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and improve your chess. See you next week. Thanks so much.